because Ruth said, Janet, would you come and speak at our launch for a brand new business, UNIQ? And I said, of course I will, Ruth, I'll be there. She said, but Janet, I want you to be totally, completely honest about your business journey. I had to think a little bit longer about that. Actually, just before we go any further, can I ask you to put your drinks down, please? That's for the end, because I really want you all to be able to clap. So, I got to the honesty part. So guys, you're going to get the honest truth tonight. I've no money. And I've actually got no customers either. To be quite truthful, the business is just about bust. Yeah, that's the truth. That was the truth 5 and a bit years ago. Because I was that person with no money, no customers, and a business that was just about bust. And when Ruth asked me to speak, I tried to think a little bit about how did my business get in that state. And I reckon it came down to 3 very, very simple things. It came down to my vanity. It came down to my naivety. And it came down to my honesty. So, with your indulgence, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my vanity. When you set up a business, it's one of the most exciting times in your life. In fact, a little bit of audience participation here. Those of you with children, could you put your hands up in the air, please? Yeah. Keep them up, keep them up. Now, if your child is the most intelligent, gifted, beautiful and talented person in the world, keep your hand up. Yeah. Well, wouldn't you agree, everybody here that has set up a business, that that's what your business just about feels like? You are so proud of this lovely, brand new business that you want everybody to hear all about it. Well, that's what happened to me. My vanity took over. One of the worst mistakes that I made, I had been self-employed for 8 weeks, and the local college must have heard of the grapevine. So the phone goes, hello, is that Janet Torley from Events for Business? We are going to an exhibition in Holland, and if you give us £500, Janet, we'll take all your leaflets with us, hand them out to everybody, and bring back the list of delegates. I thought, fantastic, because I had no delegates at all, no customers at that stage. So, off I went to the printer, got 2,000 leaflets rustled up. They said nothing. Absolutely nothing. Handed them over to the college, wrote out my cheque for £500, handed it to the college. What did I get back? Absolutely zilch. In fact, I'd have been just as well going into the garage, wheeling out the barbecue, putting £1,000 in the barbecue, lighting it up, and grilling a couple of sausages over it, because that would have been more than I ever got from that exercise in vanity, because all I wanted was people to see my name. Naivety. Yeah. I'm going to watch for a few notes here. When you start your business, you go off to business gateways, different business organisations, all the advice lines, and what do they tell you? They tell you, go networking, don't they? You must go out and do lots and lots and lots of networking. So, I did. In fact, I'd been as well putting a sign around my neck that said, new business, money to spend. Because believe you me, at networking networking events, they spot you, new business, money to spend. In fact, I was so naive when I got another phone call. Hello, Janet. It was lovely to meet you yesterday at the networking event that you were invited to. Would you like to meet for a coffee? Oh yes, oh thank God. I've got somebody that actually cares, somebody that wants to do some business with me. I'm so excited. I remember going along to meet this chap, who shall remain nameless, for a coffee. Sat down, and the total, complete disappointment when I found out that all he wanted to do was get me to join his network group, which cost shed loads of money, that I had to go to every single week. But he promised me I would get so much business that the fees would be paid back in just a mere whisper of a few days. So what did I do? Totally naive. I signed, I joined, I went. I had a blinking nice breakfast. But that was all. Because I looked round the room, I looked at the table and I thought, Janet, you ain't ever going to do any business with anybody here. But it's even worse, I'm expected to bring business every week. I can't do it. I had signed, I couldn't get out of it. That was how naive I was. And in fact, when I look back, I should have gone back into the garage, got out the barbecue, put in another £1,000, fired it up and cooked the bacon. Then I'd have the sausage and the bacon. Which brings me to honesty. And I can see you probably thinking, honesty. How does that come into running and setting up a business? Well, I say it's the lack of personal honesty. The lack of being honest with yourself. When you start in business, if you've got a really fabulous idea, you've got a totally unique service, you've got something that no one else is doing, then I would say you're already off to a flying start. I would, however, suggest that you probably have to mortgage the house twice over, you probably have to sell the children, and you definitely have to have a partner working at least 6 jobs to support you until you get started. Yeah? But if, like me, you came to self-employment because you were made redundant or fed up with the corporate world, then you've got a really, really hard road to crawl. You really need to search long and hard about what is going to make your business totally different and stand out from the crowd. And I wish to goodness someone had taken me aside in the early days and said, Janet, there is absolutely zero market for small business event organisers. Because I would have been saved a hell of a lot of trouble and a hell of a lot of money if somebody had been honest enough with me. In fact, I'd be better go and get the barbecue back out. Wheeling it out well away from the back door, because the reality was that I should have put £15,000 in that barbecue and burnt it, because that is what I wasted in the first year of my business on stupid ideas, ill-informed plans, rubbish. But I did, fortunately, stopped. And I actually stood back a little bit. But most importantly, I asked for advice. And I was very lucky because I got an awful lot of good advice from some very good friends, some of whom are here tonight. So I stopped and I stood back and I started all over again. So I would say to you, to any young business starting out today, starting out tomorrow, that my message would be, have a look in the mirror before you go. And if you see staring back at you, vanity, naivety, a lack of personal honesty by the time that you stopped, stood back and listened. Or the advert would be, think unique. That was good, eh? Because I am genuinely quite passionate about what Ruth and Ben are doing, because if there had been something like this when I was starting out, then I wouldn't have wasted £15,000 on rubbish. So, ladies and gentlemen, if nothing else, if you're looking for a barbecue, I've got one for sale. Second hand, it's 15 grand. Thank you very much.